What if the next Middle East war doesn't stay in the Middle East? On June 13, 2025, the world held its breath as Israel launched a sudden strike on Iranian nuclear sites. Within hours, Iran struck back, and the ripple wasn't just regional, it was global. This isn't just a military clash, it's a geopolitical earthquake, shaking up alliances, ideologies, and the fragile balance of power. The real question isn't just what happens next, it's who takes sides and why. In this video, we reveal 8 countries most likely to stand with Iran if this war escalates. Some are obvious, others downright shocking. From religious alliances to resource deals, from political revenge to strategic survival, we'll unpack the hidden motivations driving these nations toward Tehran's side. Why would they risk war? Why risk sanctions, isolation, or global backlash? Because in this conflict, loyalty is leverage, and silence could be a death sentence. So let's dive into the complex web of loyalty and strategy shaping this conflict. We start with a country that's backed Iran through decades of sanctions, threats, and global pressure, even when the world turned its back. Yemen, the southern front, a conflict with deep thousands of kilometers away, another regional actor aligned with Iran is watching closely, a powerful faction based in Yemen. Despite years of conflict and isolation, this group has developed significant missile and drone capabilities, largely influenced by advanced technology and strategic support from Iran. In recent years, they've carried out operations near the Red Sea, citing alignment with Iran's regional stance and expressing support for the Palestinian cause. If tensions continue to escalate, they may increase their activity, this time more directly involved. For Iran, this partnership adds strategic depth. It forces Israel to remain vigilant across multiple fronts, potentially stretching its defense resources and diverting focus from the core conflict. Geographically, this group is positioned near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a vital global shipping passage. In a time of crisis, disruptions here could have economic and military ripple effects that extend far beyond the region. Though Yemen remains a country deeply affected by war, this group has proven resilient, motivated, and ideologically committed. In a larger conflict, they represent a significant but unpredictable factor that could shape the course of events. Iraq, caught between two fires. Iraq is officially neutral, but it's a land of hidden divides. The government juggles US ties and Iranian influence, while powerful Shia militias stand firmly pro-Iran. These militias, trained and funded by Tehran, act as a parallel military force within Iraq. Groups like Kataib Hezbollah and Asaib al-Haq have pledged to defend Iran against any attack, especially from Israel. In recent years, they've launched drone strikes on US and Israeli-linked targets in Iraq and Syria. Iran views Iraq as a vital corridor, using its airspace to move weapons to Syria and Lebanon. This gives Iraq immense strategic importance, making it a likely hotspot if conflict erupts. Iraq's population leans pro-Iran in certain provinces. Cultural, religious, and economic ties run deep, especially among Shia communities. This adds another layer of support, even as Baghdad tries to avoid being dragged into the fire. In a broader sense, Iraq is Iran's land bridge to the Levant. And in geopolitics, logistics win wars. That's why Iraq matters so much. Russia, a strategic partnership on steroids. Iran and Russia are closer than ever politically, economically, and militarily. After sanctions hit both countries hard, they forged a powerful alliance of convenience. In the shadow of a new Middle Eastern war, Russia could become Iran's strongest state-level backer. On paper, Russia seems far removed from the Iran-Israel conflict. But in practice, it has everything to gain from supporting Iran. Russia wants to undermine US and Israeli influence in the Middle East. It aims to distract the West from Ukraine and strengthen its position as a global power broker. Russia has already provided Iran with advanced weaponry and satellite technology, while Iran has supplied thousands of drones for use in Ukraine. This partnership works both ways, and if war escalates, Russia may not send troops but could offer intelligence and cyber support. Moscow might push OPEC Plus towards oil strategies that benefit Iran and squeeze Israel's allies. Russia's support isn't about ideology, it's about opportunity. With rising global tensions, Moscow sees Iran as a strategic partner to pressure the West. In a world of shifting alliances, Russia and Iran are united not by fate, but by strategy. And in war, that's what truly counts. China, the quiet power player influencing from the shadows. Unlike Russia, China plays the long game and often plays it quietly. But don't mistake silence for neutrality. China is one of Iran's largest trade partners, its top oil buyer, and a key diplomatic shield at the UN Security Council. Beijing has invested billions into Iran's infrastructure and energy projects as part of its Belt and Road Initiative. In 2021, the two nations signed a 25-year cooperation agreement. That deal includes economic, security, and military dimensions, positioning China as a strategic partner if tensions explode. China's main interest is stability in oil supply, but not necessarily peace. A limited regional war that disrupts US influence could benefit China economically and strategically. While it won't send weapons directly, it may quietly provide surveillance tech, economic lifelines, or back-channel diplomacy to support Iran. China is on a mission to challenge US dominance, but in a subtle way. By supporting Iran, they're expanding their influence, especially in Asia and Africa, where partnerships matter. While they may not be in the headlines, their behind-the-scenes support is crucial, shaping logistics, energy markets, and global opinion. In modern warfare, silent allies hold immense power, and China, they're watching and calculating every move. Qatar, the financial bridge, funding key initiatives. Qatar might not fire missiles, but it could move the money, shape the message, and tip the balance. For years, Qatar has walked a tightrope, hosting massive US military bases while keeping warm relations with Iran. But in the event of all-out war, it might quietly lean toward Tehran, driven by geography, shared interests, and quiet strategy. The two countries jointly manage the world's largest natural gas field, the South Par's North Dome. That's not just economics, that's survival. As global sanctions tighten, Qatar and Iran may stick together to keep the energy flowing and their economies alive. Don't expect Qatari troops on the battlefield. Instead, Qatar could act behind the scenes as Iran's financial bridge, helping move money, trade, and even mediate talks that favor Tehran's position. But perhaps the most underrated weapon? Narrative. With influence over Al Jazeera and global media networks, Qatar could help frame the story, casting Iran's moves as resistance, not aggression. And in modern warfare, PR can be as powerful as missiles. Qatar also has a history of supporting groups aligned with Iran, including Hamas. That ideological overlap could matter more than ever if the region erupts. In a Middle East where few can stay neutral, Qatar may not pick a side loudly, but its quiet support could be a game changer. Pakistan, the reluctant sympathizer. Pakistan is a nuclear power with a vested interest in regional stability. Officially neutral, its historical ties with Iran hint at potential quiet support if conflict escalates. Sharing a long border, Pakistan has cooperated with Iran on security and counterterrorism. While allied with Saudi Arabia and the US, its Shia minority makes it sensitive to Iran's status. In the event of war, Pakistan might allow arms transit or intelligence sharing, even acting as a mediator for Iran. It could also rally Muslim solidarity, especially if civilian casualties in Iran provoke global outrage. Pakistan's military has a long history of strategic engagement in regional affairs, often supporting its interests from the shadows. In the current tensions, they may adopt a cautious yet influential stance, offering support behind the scenes while avoiding direct involvement. With close ties to Saudi Arabia and Gulf partners, Pakistan will tread carefully to avoid diplomatic fallout. But if the conflict escalates, especially with civilian harm or sovereignty violations, public sentiment could push leadership to act. In such a scenario, religious unity and national identity might fuel quiet alignment, positioning Pakistan as a background player in regional dynamics. Algeria, North Africa's revolutionary voice. Algeria stands firm, opposing Western intervention in the Middle East. Historically, it has supported Iran's stance on Palestine, resisting normalization with Israel. Its foreign policy is rooted in anti-imperialism and solidarity with Muslim causes. Iran shares this ideology, seeking soft power allies like Algeria. This common ground may lead Algeria to symbolically support Tehran, even if military aid is unlikely. In regional organizations, Algeria champions causes that align with Iran's interests. It could mobilize African support or resist Western narratives around the war. Algeria stands strong, maintaining its military capabilities and independence from US influence. This independence allows Algeria to voice dissent and support Iran's allies, logistically and diplomatically. While not directly on the battlefield, Algeria serves as a crucial ideological pillar. In a world where global opinion shapes conflicts, Algeria's voice is more significant than ever. Solidarity isn't just about weapons, it's about legitimacy, and Algeria provides that legitimacy to Iran. Venezuela, distant but devoted, standing in solidarity. Though geographically distant, Venezuela stands as one of Iran's loudest supporters on the global stage. Under Nicolas Maduro's leadership, Caracas has embraced Tehran as a fellow target of US sanctions. Together, they resist imperialism, united in their struggle. Iran has played a crucial role in helping Venezuela rebuild its oil industry, providing technicians and essential parts. In return, Venezuela offers diplomatic support and trade agreements, defying Western policies. During regional conflicts, Venezuela could act as a propaganda ally for Iran, coordinating media efforts and joint speeches at the UN. In a divided world, these symbols of solidarity matter, even if they seem symbolic. Tehran and Caracas are exploring military cooperation, but logistical challenges make real deployments unlikely. Yet, their bond is strong, built on shared defiance, not borders. Venezuela shows us that Iran's influence extends beyond the Middle East. In this age of global polarization, even distant allies can shift the tone and tempo of conflict. This isn't just Iran versus Israel anymore. This is about the global balance of power. Ideologies clashing, economies shifting, and alliances being tested. When war erupts, the world chooses sides, and those choices echo far beyond the battlefield. Iran's web of allies, from nearby militias to global powers, proves that no modern conflict is truly isolated. Every missile launched can shake oil prices, shift UN debates, and stir protests in streets thousands of miles away. Knowing who backs Iran isn't just trivia. It's the key to understanding a bigger picture. Control of global narratives, energy corridors, regime survival, and the fragile fabric of international order. For you, the viewer, this is more than breaking news. It's a front row seat to a historic realignment of global power. Whether you agree with Iran's stance or not, one thing is clear. Their allies may shape the world you live in next. Because if this war escalates, it won't just be Iran's war. It could be all of ours. If this video opened your eyes, give it a like. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to know what's really going on, and hit subscribe for more deep, unbiased dives into geopolitics, power, and global shifts. Stay informed, stay sharp. The world is changing, fast.